There are many ways to travel to a country that you've never been before. Airplanes, cruises, but why would you do it in your own car? You have to buy diesel, it's more dangerous. What the heck's that thing?
Come on! Everybody saw the title and thumbnail. Let's go!
So, no intro?
Let's go!
Although I've been traveling now for more than 7 years, then from the beginning I knew that this journey was going to be different. Total freedom. No planes, no buses, no tour guides. The only limitation was the road itself. And so we drove. We entered Turkey from Greece. Sorry guys, quick stop. Since I've left the country, Turkey has actually changed their name. Like, how often do you see it that the country changes their name? UN approved it and everything. So from now on, I'll try to say Türkiye the right way. If I make any mistakes, don't be too hard on me. Let's go. We entered Türkiye from Greece. And not like most travelers who aim for Istanbul, we turned south. Filled our tank with cheap Turkish diesel. Yeah, back then it was still cheap. And drove until it started getting dark. First night in a country was special. We had to turn our bedroom into a living room to host some local farmers. Yeah, it was as strange to us as it sounds to you. And the next morning, we saw dolphins. They were in the sea, by the way. Just letting you know that they just didn't appear at our door like the farmers did. Then, it was time to move on. Our next drive was quite a short one. We wanted to drive more, but there was a bloody sea on the way. Usually the Marmara Sea separates Europe from Asia, but in our case, it separated where we were from where we wanted to be. Yes, they were building a bridge, but as it turns out, we were about a year too early. Luckily, there was a ferry that took us over, and if you ask me, 10 euros for a ticket from Europe to Asia is a darn good price. The northwest coast of Turkey is really full of surprises. First, the horse that Brad Pitt was in. Then, the city of Troy itself. Yeah, Troy is actually located in Turkey. Then, some souvenir saleswomen who gave us free stuff. I really don't think that they're too good at sales, but darn, they left a good impression of local people. Although the Mediterranean coast was really beautiful, we had heard of a unique place inland, a mountain as white as cotton. On our way there, we saw a canyon, fairy chimneys. Yep, they look as strange as they sound. And then we picked up a hitchhiker who was in trouble. Isa was so grateful for our help that he totally derailed us from our journey. He took us home, fed us, and showered us with gifts.
That is too much.
At that moment, I started to realize what really makes driving your own vehicle special. We had the freedom to go with the flow, to have experiences that most people never knew existed. We left in a hurry before Isa could adopt us as children and headed for the White Mountain. Pamukkale was pretty, and it had hot springs. Sadly, the entry ticket was only for 1 day, so we couldn't stay forever. After that, we drove to Saldagöl, probably the prettiest lake I've ever seen, and we got there by a total chance. Then it was time to head back to the coast. This part of the country is called Turkish Riviera, and with a good reason. It looks like southern France or northern Italy. Only the roads are better. Good internet, good roads. Most of Europe don't have such good infrastructure. Kaş, Marmaris, Bodrum. All amazing beach towns with blue sea. Lively markets and good people who opened both their hearts and homes to us, some weird hippies traveling in a yellow bus. And that wasn't it. There was also history and unique nature. For example, Temple of Artemis, ancient wonder of the world, was just on the side of the road. No ticket, no nothing. Or the Olympus gas fires that have been burning for more than 1,000 years. I'm sure countless marshmallows have been cooked there, but it was still special. In Antalya, I was tricked by an ice cream salesman. Or so he thought. I honestly think that the waffle is the best part of ice cream. Well, if you don't count the layer of chocolate outside. And also, I was shown what the real breakfast should look like. I had been living a lie. How can we quit it all? If you think of all the different breakfasts you've ever had in your life, and then put them all together on one table, that's kinda what a Turkish breakfast looks like. And all of this for €6 a person. Then it was time to head inland again. This time for a place that looks like a kid's birthday party. You know, balloons and stuff. But once again, distracted on our way. The distraction was Konya, the most conservative city in Turkey. Women there wear a little bit more clothes than the rest of the country. There is also more mosques. But I went there for Adil. He was my first fan on YouTube. I don't know why, but he liked and commented on my videos before they were actually good. His family was amazing. Together we ate a lot and I understood where his kindness came from. I really miss you, Adil. After that, a lake made out of salt that also had flamingos. And then finally, we made it to the party. The balloons were bigger than I expected. People flew with them. I was too poor to buy a ticket, but they were pretty to watch as well. The whole place was pretty and a little bit weird. People lived in caves, there was more fairy chimneys, and I managed to ruin a piece of clay that could have been a pot. When we returned to the coast, it was just too hot. Sorry Adana, I will visit you again in a few months, but 42 degrees in a yellow metal box is just too much. So we left in a hurry and drove east until Gaziantep. Days over there are still hot, but at least nights were okay. Surprisingly, the place has some of the best food in the whole world. Oh, and if you say that you're a vegetarian, they do have an answer for you. And the answer is, no worries, my friend. We also have chicken. By the way, what's your favorite Turkish food? Something I should definitely try when I come back to Turkey in August. Let me know in the comments. After that I visited Mardin, climbed a weird mountain with some heads on top, and saw Göbekli Tepe, the oldest temple in the world, like 6,000 years older than Stonehenge. Oh, and I also saw a sign that I just could not resist to violate. Then I looked at Syria, Iraq and Iran respectfully from a distance. Also saw a palace, visited a place where cow poop is used as firewood, and just as I could not take the 40-degree heat no more, something crazy happened. Everything turned green. And again, a sea blocked the road. Black Sea region of Turkey is something I just did not expect to see. Small villages, also mountainsides filled with tea bushes, and families more friendly and welcoming than I have ever seen. And to top it all off, the highlands. It really feels special to be standing higher than the clouds. Just unreal. From that moment on, we were in a rush. With only few weeks left on our visa, time was running low. I remember having some iconic bread in Trabzon, then met some more good people in the capital city of Ankara, and then headed to Istanbul, where we also had some bloody amazing street food. And by the way, by bloody amazing, I don't mean the lamb intestine sandwich. We also met wonderful locals in Istanbul who showed us around in the city. And once again saw dolphins. Oh, and this time we drove from Asia to Europe. Yes, On that side, the bridge is already finished. As I was driving out of Istanbul, I noticed quite an extraordinary thing. We had driven 10,000 kilometers in Turkey. It was more than we ever planned. But I'm so happy that we did, because those 10,000 kilometers really showed me the country, the kindness of locals, the diversity of nature I never knew existed, and also the variety of foods and cultures all over the place. And I think those reasons alone make it worth discovering a new country in your own vehicle. Friends, if you want to see any of those adventures more closely, they're all up here in that playlist. So make sure to check them out, and I myself will see you back on the channel in a little bit less than a week. Thank you for watching and take care.